Let's see. All right, here we go. And you're going to be on Facebook, YouTube, and, well, you're supposed to be on Kick. There, and Kick. Or X, excuse me, X. Okay, well, I'm just going to have, there it goes. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Still learning this intro music crap, but I am your host, Bones. Welcome to the Bones Unfiltered podcast. Today is the special needs edition, which, as you all know, is very near and dear to my heart. I'm loving this edition. But today I'm fortunate enough to have a young man with me that his name is Chris Wells. And he's from Frenchburg, Kentucky, and is married to his wonderful wife. And I'm sure she's the leader of the pack, Miss Amber Wells. And happy birthday, Amber. So today is her birthday. So I'm sure, what is she now, 25? Well, you know, like
we'll go with that.
They all stay
we'll go with that.
They'll stay at 25, apparently. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
That's right.
I don't want to get in trouble on TV here.
That's right. Well, Chris, he works as an actor at it is called Echo TV. And before we get into his son, which is obviously one of the biggest reasons why we're here, we're going to talk a whole lot and show a lot of pictures about Maddox, who has autism. But before we kind of get into that, let's hear from Chris and kind of get his story about, you know, how he met Mama, how he ended up at Echo TV as an actor, what he's doing with all that. And let's kind of set everything up until the point of which Maddox graces his appearance to them on Earth. And then we can get into all of the trials and tribulations that they had to go through early on with Maddox with his autism, and kind of things as he's developed up to the age of 6 now, the various things that he has done that they have seen that's just really kind of just blows your mind. And we're going to get into all that. So Chris, if you would kind of give us your all's backstory of how you and Mama met and about work and what you're doing in that community.
It was kind of wild. I'd been through a previous relationship and you know, freshly divorced, so I was kind of living the hippie life, you know, bouncing couch to couch and you know, staying out in the woods and living in the car. You know, I loved it. So I stopped in at a buddy's house one night. I was going to hang out with them and sleep on their couch, and they happened to been helping somebody out, and it was Amber. Like, she didn't have a place to go at the time. And so when I walked in, I mean, it was like looking at an angel. She had that glow to her that, you know, I didn't see in other people before.
Right.
And so I came back, like, it took 4 days for me and her to actually talk about, you know, maybe trying a relationship or something like that. Probably would have took 3, but I bailed on her one night to go fishing.
Typical man.
It was a great fishing trip though. We caught like 3 or 4 catfish, like 20, 30 crappie. Like, it was a great night. So
well, hell, you can't beat that.
I have no regrets. But she one night she came down. She knew that I was into music, and she was real shy. But you know, we were sitting around, and she kind of came over next to me. And she said, "Not a whole lot of people know this." She said, "But I can sing." And I was like, "Really?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, "How about later we go out and chill out in the car, you know, just me and you, and I'll sing for you." And I was like, "All right, deal." You know, like, that sounds good. And we ended up hanging out in the car till the sun come up, you know, like singing and just getting to know each other. And she was, like I said, kind of sleeping on the couch too. And I could have went home to my parents. I mean, I have really great parents. My dad and my mom, like, they would have gave me the couch anytime. But you know, they were kind of religious, and you know, I wasn't married or nothing, so I didn't really want to just bring this girl home.
Right.
so we ended up living in my car. um,
No
and kind
shit.
of, yeah,
Now,
yeah,
how
we
long
applied
did
for
y'all
an
do that?
apartment. A couple weeks probably, and then scored an apartment really quick actually, and moved into an apartment and been together ever since. Got married, I don't know, about a year and a half, 2 years later. Got married, and then that's the wildest part is the year we got married. 3 or 4 months in, she gets pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
and before our anniversary, we already have another child or a child in the picture. Like Maddox was born so early. She was born at 27 weeks. Uh, she went into labor and had Maddox at 27 weeks.
No doubt.
Um, yeah, so he was a tiny little thing. When they weighed him several days later, he only weighed like 2 pounds or something
Yeah, and
when he
some of
was
the
born.
pictures I'll show here in a little bit, folks, you're going to get to see. There's one picture he sent me that the perspective is it's of a gloved hand from I guess either them or a social one of the hospital workers, whatever. But
Yeah,
if you, I love the photo because you see little baby Maddox and well, hell, let's just show the damn thing. Let's just do it. So look at this photo right here. I mean, you could just see that shows such a perspective of how small that child was in
yeah,
comparison
and
to that young man.
that's probably a week or two after his birth, right there. Honestly, too.
How long
Uh,
did he remain in the hospital?
he was born like March 18th. He got out in June. Um, so
March
three
18th. Yeah,
months.
golly, yeah. Now was
Yeah,
he?
3 months.
It appeared like he may have been in an incubator at one time.
Yeah,
What was he in one of the incubators?
he was. And then he was inside this like it looked like a turkey baster bag. And that was to help his skin, keep moisture and stuff because he was
I think
born
that's
so early. He was born
is
without all
that.
that stuff. Yeah, that's the Billy Light. He had jaundice as well.
Oh,
So they
okay.
had to put him in a
Mhm.
Billy Light for a little bit.
Oh,
But yeah, he was in he was in like a little turkey basting bag. It simulated being inside the womb, is what the thing was.
oh, now that's very interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it was some like new stuff they were trying out.
Huh. Now that yeah, that's very interesting.
So,
Yeah, but see,
but
but that perspective just shows how
oh
tiny he
yeah,
was. It's just like,
yeah,
oh
you
my
could hold
gosh.
him in just in your palm of your hand and his whole body, like hold his head up and everything, like in your hand, one handed.
Oh my. Now, did Mama stay with him the whole time? Did you all kind of
Yeah,
split the duties back and forth? How did you all
we
do it?
we did try to do that the best we could. When he was born, was right when COVID literally shut the hospital down, shut Ronald McDonald House down, and then they had strict rules that you had to be, within 24 hours. You couldn't like if you visited, you couldn't visit again within 24 hours. So and they were encouraging the skin to skin contact with mama.
Mhm.
So I there was a lot of the time I only got a few visits really because of COVID,
Oh,
because he
no.
needed the skin to skin contact with his mother. So yeah, it really hurt the whole situation. COVID did. It was bad.
No,
Uh,
man, that's terrible, especially when your child is sick like that and in the hospital and
Yeah, we were
premature and
thankful
everything
they let
else.
us do that, and it was because he needed the skin to skin because they were starting like when they first was getting ready to shut it down, they were getting ready to say no visitors,
Yeah.
tell us to go home.
Well, and that
And,
kangaroo care has become very, very popular where they do
yeah,
the skin to
that's
skin. I mean, even in the ambulance, they wanted us to start doing that once we delivered a child, is to do the
yeah,
same thing, direct
yeah.
skin to skin contact. That way the baby could use mama's body heat, obviously, as well to also
Oh yeah,
keep warm. But the bonding, I mean, it's a little bit, obviously, it's a
and
little
it
bit.
helped him. It seemed that he progressed way better. Like if he needed to heal up here or something to heal there, like he would heal a lot faster the more
Hmm.
that she did that. And it kept him calm too. He didn't have a vocal box when he was born, like it was still hadn't developed yet. So he'd sit there like just screaming, but you couldn't hear him. Like he was mad, but He's done that from birth.
That's that's hilarious. Here's another photo of this poor young lad when he was little. And
Yeah, and that's that turkey baster bag looking thing I was telling you about. That's the artificial womb that's wrapped around him, to simulate the feeling of being inside the womb, I guess. There's some kind of
that's
magic
really
behind it.
interesting. Now, I hadn't seen that. Of course, in the field, I would have never had access to that anyway, but yeah,
Right.
I had not seen that. That's
It
very
literally it,
interesting.
it literally looks like something a Reynolds wrap makes, like like a turkey basting bag. But they like pump moisture and stuff inside the incubator too, and it like somehow that bag made it like a womb. I mean, they kept it perfect temperature, his whole body, and perfect moisture, oxygen going, the way that, where they needed oxygen to go.
Mhm.
And so it's like, it's new technology. I guess it ain't new now, but it was something they were trying then, and it's really helped him out. So
Now, how long obviously, he was in for quite a while, as you all just heard. I mean, he was in the hospital before he could go home for a while. But how long did it take you and mama to kinda start realizing after the fact, once you were home, once things were developing? Because with autism, sometimes you're not 100% sure. You may have suspect some things, but it takes a little while to kind of get that diagnosed. What happened with that through you all to where you all started noticing certain things and then reached out to people? And how long of a process did it take before you all finally got that autism diagnosis?
probably, honestly, like we knew something was different with him, but just because he just didn't act like my other kids even as a small baby. Like he was more chill, always trying to get into stuff. Even in the hospital, he was, yanking cords off of himself all the time. But we probably noticed it really when he got to probably his terrible twos, when he would start throwing temper tantrums. We'd
Mhm.
realize that the tantrums are beyond tantrums. That he's attacking people, and like he's just straight up violent. He has no filter there at all when he gets mad, or and right now, if he doesn't get his way.
Right. And
Right.
here's another shot with that. Obviously, you can see the bag that Chris is talking about that kind of simulated that amniotic sac, I
Yeah.
guess is what the best way to describe that. But I mean, you can see all of the different gadgets that are on him that are oxygenating him and pulse oximetry is glowing up there. And of course, he had to wear those leads and be in that incubator for a long, long time.
Yeah, and he had
Now,
a brain bleed too. They had to deal with um, when he was first born. That was the wildest thing. Is the doctor? He pulled me in. He comes out like, and he says, "Come here a minute," and he comes and drags me into this little small meeting room, and he was crying really hard. And he said, "Man," he said, "I'm one of the best doctors in the world for this situation." He said, "They flew me out of New York to be here to deliver this baby." He said, "And I'm going to tell you now," he said, "this, I've never experienced this in my life." He said, "Your son was born without blood in his body." He said he had pus beating where the blood should have been. He said,
well,
"Literally,
wow.
your son is born from the dirt." He said, I'm the best doctor in the world for this, world renowned." He said, "Out of 280,000 babies, he's the first one to ever live." Um,
No doubt.
he said, "When I
Wow.
pulled him out, he looked at me like he was curious." And he said, he said, "When I walked in here today," he said, "I didn't believe in God." He said, "I'm on my way to church, buddy." And he said, "I literally watched the baby be born from the dirt, and I don't know how to handle it." And he shook my hand and walked out.
Wow. Now, where were you all at? Because,
That was
forgive
in
me,
the
Chris.
UK hospital in Lexington.
So you all went to UK because I figured
Yeah,
in Frenchburg, Kentucky, there's probably not a
yeah.
major hospital. Probably
No,
just
no,
something small. Yeah.
no. You might get a Band-Aid down here or something, but
Right. So
Now
you all always
they do got
go.
a really nice medical clinic, like for your average stuff, but like not birthing babies or nothing like that.
Right. So you all always traveled. Now,
Yeah.
did you ever were you ever sent to another state's hospital for
No,
any kind of
no,
procedures? Well,
no.
that's good.
That's yeah. We looked out there. We did have to go back several times to check his hearing and his vision,
Mhm.
um, because where his body had developed that pus and that pus was all through it. It gave him that CMV. So they're concerned that it might cause his hearing or his vision to go out at any time in his life. Just randomly, just one day wake up blind or wake up and can't hear no more.
Oh god, could you
Uh,
imagine that?
no, no.
Especially as
So
a child,
yeah,
that
and
would
then with
be so scary.
yeah, and then he's got perfect pitch hearing, so that would be the most devastating thing in the world to him.
Oh, hell,
Um,
I bet. Yeah, and
yeah,
we're gonna get into that, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this kid loves instruments and plays all sorts of stuff, and it's all done by himself. I mean, he just hears it
self-taught.
and knows it, and it's amazing with autistic children, some of the things that they can do. It's almost like doesn't seem normal or like real or possible, I should say.
Right.
It doesn't seem possible. I got a buddy, his kid sat down one time at a party and started playing a piano, and I was like, "Dang, I didn't know he could play the piano that good." And he goes, "I didn't either. He's never done this." And I'm like, "You're kidding me." It's just that's like mind melting to me that there are people like that that are so in tune with things that it's almost like that they born already knowing it.
Yeah,
It's almost
yeah,
something like what was like the Matrix or whatever, where they put the information in their head and shit. Well, I think it was the
yeah.
Matrix where they teach them how to fight, and they all of a sudden now there's some mixed martial. It's like a similar thing to me, like that with autistic children, with some of the
Right.
ways that they can just automatically just do stuff and crush it doing it as well. It's unreal, absolutely unreal. Now, here's another shot of Maddox. Kinda all papoosed up there in a blanket.
Yeah, they
Oh,
had to
yeah,
tie him
you
down because he kept yanking all of his equipment off. So they had to put that stuff wrapped around him to try to keep his hands from going crazy. And
and I can see in this photo here at the top left, you can see the, access port where you can open up that incubator to get to him, so I can actually see it now.
yeah,
Now did your alls have the big latex glove that you had to slide your hand in to touch him that was actually affixed to the incubator, or did he not
um,
have to have that?
it seems like maybe they had that. It's been so long, I can't honestly remember. It seems like
Mhm.
maybe it had both. Like one side was open or one side had gloves. I don't remember exactly on that.
Okay. Well,
Um,
and that's alright 'cause you had a whole lot going on during that time, that's for
Oh
sure.
yeah, and then where the COVID was breaking out, like they literally made you they had a sink right next to him and made you scrub down and they'd sit there and watch you and make sure you washed your hands correctly
Mhm.
and everything and then had to put on gloves and man it was a mess just to even be able to go into the room with him.
Yeah.
Um, they
And
had it on such
that's a
lockdown.
very scary thing for those of y'all listening that, you know, a child at 27 weeks is small.
Yeah.
And, sometimes I think I delivered one was 25 weeks, and it was almost not viable, and thankfully it lived, but it was in an incubator like that forever, and, it was
They
so
had to give
small,
him
and
had to give him shots to make his lungs develop like
probably
they had
I think it's
before.
surfactant, I think is what it's called, I
Yeah,
think,
something like
surfactant,
that.
but,
They had to give it to Mama whenever, and then they tried to hold him in there, giving her them drugs as long as he would, and then, he didn't stay in there too long. He's pretty. When he wants to go somewhere, he wants to go somewhere. So
I
he's
hear
ready to
that.
get out.
Now how long was he there? I know he was there obviously for, a couple months, obviously.
Right.
How long was he intubated before they finally were able to extubate him from that?
Oh man, it was several, at least a couple weeks, at least, or longer, honestly. He even went home with a breathing machine and oxygen on oxygen, and that monitor for SIDS and everything, like
Hmm.
that you had to wrap around his foot. And that's the most annoying thing in the world. If anybody's not went through that, that is awful. That
Yeah,
machine
it is
messes up
hard.
a lot. Anytime the baby moves their foot or something, that machine goes off. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, he was on oxygen probably 2 or 3 months after we got him home, even. Um, so it was quite a journey. I'm
It
thinking that he
sounds like
had that all that breathing stuff at least a couple weeks.
yeah.
Uh,
Let's see
so
about
yeah,
this photo. Oh, that's the same one I just showed. I think. Yeah, that's the same one. That's just, it's those are hard to look at,
yeah,
pictures because nobody wants to see a small child that way. But the end result is, he's alive and kicking and doing good now. So
oh yeah,
it was definitely worth the sacrifice. It just it definitely hard on the heart watching your little one go through this.
oh yeah, and it
Especially
just
like you said with COVID, that made I didn't even think about that, man. I mean, Chris, that makes it even worse because, back then, I mean, hell, people were losing loved ones and they couldn't even go to the dang funeral homes,
yeah,
because,
yeah.
and it's just like, dang, I couldn't imagine losing a loved one and not being able to pay the respects and go and see that through and just having to chalk it up to, well, it's just COVID. Sorry, it is what it is.
Right.
That would have been just so hard. So this, I could only imagine what you and Amber went through.
And for the last little bit of the stay, like where they shut the Ronald McDonald House down, they let us stay in one of the North Tower or something over there. And
Mhm.
literally, we were 20 foot from the wing that was where all the COVID patients go to die. It was literally like this armored doors and everything. You, nobody could go in and out unless they had like special keys, and but it was the COVID wing, and it was literally like their last stop. It was the ones that probably wasn't making it.
Damn.
And it was literally 5 doors down from us,
Mm,
where
mm,
they
mm.
had us staying at. Yeah. So it was kind of scary. And then you look down at it and like the lights are flickering like some kind of horror movie. Like it's real dim lit hallway, like nobody in the hallway. All the
No
rooms got
doubt.
big warning signs on them, like, um, and then like special, like, I don't know, whole body suits hanging on every door. Like it was insane.
That's nuts. Now, how are the Ronald McDonald houses in Lexington? We stayed in St. Louis when Brandon had
Right.
his brain surgery. We stayed in two. One was very, very old. It was such an old building that it actually, the bathroom actually it was community. So you
Oh,
had
wow.
to kind of pick a time to find an opening to get in and take a bath because it was all
Oh,
in the hallway and you had, I don't know, it was like 4 or 6 rooms all shared that one head, you know which was interesting. And then the next one we stayed at was more like a hotel. So
right.
I think matter of fact, I think it used to be a hotel and then they converted it room for room now. And it was like $5 a night, and you had chores you had to do. So, like,
Right.
say for instance, if you could do them, you didn't have to, but if you could. So, like, a lot of times the wife would stay with Brandon. I would come back that night to the Ronald McDonald House, and then I'd look at the list, and it may be like Bones. Today you vacuum the arcade room, so I'd
Right.
take their vacuum and go down there and vacuum the arcade room. That was my contribution. Then the
Right.
next day might be, hey, do the community dishes or whatever. So
Right.
they had stuff there because they really didn't have, because it was charitable. They didn't have a whole lot of staff, so it's not like they had paid housekeeping and stuff. Now, how do they do that in Lexington?
Honestly, I don't know. That's the wildest part is we got approved, and the
Mhm.
day we were supposed to move to the Ronald McDonald House, COVID shut it down.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, yeah. So we didn't get the chance, man. Yeah. So I had to travel back and forth from Frenchburg, which is, I think it's like 60 some miles. Um, make all the trips back and forth the whole time, just because they shut that Ronald McDonald down, and then they finally like she was staying there with him most of the time anyway. So they moved and gave us a room, like I said, and I was able to go and stay there towards kind of towards the end of it before he was released. Um, but yeah, man, the day we were supposed to go, they were like, "Hey, hold up, sorry about this, but Ronald McDonald's closing, the governor's closing it down." So
Wow. That
yeah,
sounds
and
like
we had just
not a
already
good party.
approved and really ready to, like, it was that day that it got shut down.
Now, I don't know. I've never been to Frenchburg, Kentucky. So, like, geographically, what are you somewhat close to that? Besides, obviously, you're about 60 miles or so, about an
50 to
hour from
60.
or not St. Louis, shit, from Lexington, excuse me.
Right.
So you're roughly about an hour from there. Um, you obviously know my buddy, and your buddy Chase Brown. He lives in Mount
Yeah, yeah.
Sterling. Are you kind of close to
We're
Mount
actually from the
Sterling or
same town.
Moorhead?
He's actually from here in Menifee County. He
Oh,
lives in Mount
really?
Sterling now. Yeah, yeah. I met Chase. He was like 16 years old, and we worked at IGA together. And I worked in the meat room, and me and him, we talked in the back room here and there. And he found out that I used to do music, and he had this big talent show coming up, and so he's like, man, what show, this talent show, they're supposed to, like, big grand prize, take you somewhere, do something, and he said, what song should I do? And I was like, dude, I said, do the big long version, the live version of Freebird. I said, mix them solos together, then dual guitar, mix that together, and see what you can do. And he came back to me. He said, "Man, I won that talent show." He said they stood up and everything. Like, I rocked it, and I was so proud of him, dude. And later I'm talking to him. I knew he had a band and stuff. Me and him's talking. This is just recently, actually. And I'm like, "Yeah, man." I said, "I know you got a band and stuff." I said, "Won't we get together when you ain't doing stuff, and we try to write some music, maybe try to sell it or something, you know?"
Hmm.
We got a lot of tools available nowadays, so we can really, just me and you could really produce the sound and write the songs, and maybe even get AI to even perform it for us, just so we can try different genres and see what our stuff would sound like. And so we kind of started working on that, and I got curious. I was like, "So you're in a band?" I said, "What's your band name?" And he's like, "Kentucky Music Mafia," and I'm like, "What?" I said, we've been friends all these years, and you've been a guitar player for them for how long? And I didn't know that. Like, it was a shock. Like, I knew of them. Like, I've seen them on Facebook many times and stuff. And then I had no idea that was Chase, and doing the guitar work.
No
So
doubt. Now
that
that's
was a shocker
interesting.
for sure.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and that just made me even more proud of him, man. It brought me right back to the IGA days. Him. What should I do? What should I do? Do Freebird, man. You know.
Well, that's always a Yuletide favorite, especially in Kentucky.
Oh, and
Everybody.
Frenchburg especially, man. You can't play music anywhere without somebody yelling Freebird.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, and that's funny how popular that became because I mean, now you see that shit on everything. It'd be like
Right.
South Park, and they'll have somebody that or whatever some of those other ones, Family Guy or what. It's like
Yeah.
they always add that stuff's always even punned into stuff. It's quite fun, but it's a great song. I mean, it's definitely one that has carried and stood the test of time. That's for sure.
And oh yeah, and they were my favorite band growing up. Like, my parents rocked them out from as long as I can remember.
Yeah,
So,
heck yeah.
like, they've always been a staple in my place, in my heart. So that was the first thing I went to when he asked, like, the best songs that I could think of that
Hmm.
you can wow a crowd with. And man, if he didn't do it, he did it. Awesome job.
And and
Apparently, led right up to him being, Kentucky Music Mafia, not telling one of his best friends, but
yeah, I hate when I get left out of shit too.
he never left me out. I just never asked questions.
Yeah. Well, and you probably didn't really think about it,
Right,
but
right.
But one thing I forgot to show everybody, which I can go ahead and throw this up here too, is we were talking about his wife. Matter of fact, your wife still works at IGA. Is that correct?
No, she actually is working at the Dollar General now.
Oh, is
She
she?
yeah,
Because
she's
she
been there a
worked at
couple of years now.
IGA. I think on her Facebook it said she had for at least for a while, didn't she?
Yeah, she was there like 5 years or something crazy.
Now, did she work at the same store as you or a different one?
It was the same one.
Same one.
Yeah, I actually got her on. I was the meat, the meat man down there. I worked in the meat department and uh, got her in pretty much. I don't know. I've been there a few weeks, and they's like, yeah, we'll hire her. And so we ended up working together, and which was really interesting because she's seen me in my worst because it's not easy being the meat guy.
No, no, and I couldn't do it. I did it a couple times when I was a teen at filling in at when I worked at Value Market in on Winnington and Hurstbourne in Louisville before it's not there anymore. But I had to fill in, but I hated it because it was always so damn cold in that room. Of course, it had to be obviously, but I was like, screw this, man.
I got fired. I got fired 3 times and rehired before I got out the front door.
Must have been a huge infraction.
Yeah, well, there ain't many people can do it around here, I don't guess. So they didn't have nobody else to do it. So they'd be like, wait a minute, we ain't got nobody else. Come back. I'm like, well, more money then. And I'd get a raise, I get a quarter or 50 cents every time they'd fire me.
well, damn, that's an anomaly there. I mean, most of the time people get fired, they get pink slips. So you were getting pay raises. It's like I'm not sure that I don't know how that works, but kudos to you on that.
It was just being a bad spot, right spot, or right time, or wrong spot, right time. I don't know. Like it's just every time I got fired, it was something hilarious. Like there's one time I was cleaning the meat room up and I sprayed the phone on the wall. And the phone shorted out and it put me on loudspeaker to the whole store. Well, I smashed my thumb on the hamburger grinder trying to get the head off the hamburger grinder. So you imagine the foul language started coming out of the mouth.
And it was broadcasting across the store.
The whole store, it was echoing, they said. They said it was echoing off the walls. It was so loud, me cussing a hamburger grinder out. And my wife comes back there. She said, babe, come here. And I said, what? And she said, the whole store can hear you cursing at that hamburger grinder. And next day, they's like, yeah, we can't have that. And they's like, you got to go. And before I even got out the front door, the manager comes running, wait a minute, we messed up. He didn't mean that.
Please don't leave us.
I went from like $7 an hour to like $8.50 an hour on that one.
Yeah, it's not like you were trying to do it anyway. It's like
no, it ain't my fault. The hamburger grinder got stuck and the tools, suck.
But here's a picture of Mama in case everybody wants to know. Very pretty lady.
Oh yeah,
very pretty lady. But one thing that I did find
sweetest person I've ever met, man.
Is she looks sweet. She's got that sweet smile.
She is.
Now, one thing that I did think was really interesting by kind of doing my Facebook stalking of you all, and you could tell this a little bit, and we'll get back into more about Maddox. But obviously you do a lot with the church and stuff. like that.
Yeah.
Now, with Echo TV, for those that don't know, Echo TV is it is a religious-based television programming. Where are they based out of?
The original location, I guess their home base is actually Orlando, Florida.
Oh, really? So
and then
like a separate chapter that's in Kentucky.
Yeah, they came up here looking to film. He had this script for this movie he was wanting to do, or the show about the end of times, and he was wanting it to take place like kind of deep in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
So he came to Kentucky looking for a place to film, and we've been here ever since. Like, he absolutely loved us, loved the place. The people around here, everybody that's involved, they're just as good as Hollywood actors, man. Like they've waited their whole life for this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody gives it their all. And we've, I got saved as soon as they found me. Like literally, they got me saved. Like just my buddy Jordan and my buddy Jeff. Literally, I was in the truck with them having combos. Like right after filming the first movie I was ever in, and so I got saved with them, and we've been kind of blossoming. We're almost a ministry. I mean, we're a ministry is what we are, and we do film to promote like our word. We're kind of into
Hmm.
times ministry,
Now, do
warning
you do
what
other
it's going to
things?
look like.
Do you do other things with the organization besides acting, or is that
Yeah,
your sole job,
yeah,
just acting?
yeah. Actually, I don't act a whole lot. I'm in the Gone series, and I'm in Incurable. Um, I got some more gigs coming up. I'm looking forward to. But I do a lot of the like the promo editing. Like I make posters.
Mhm.
I'll do reels. I do their TikTok reels a lot. I do social media stuff. Um, then I was lighting director for a bit, and I'm production assistant on a lot of stuff. So I
Nice.
the roles it just keeps I keep changing and changing roles. Like everybody in Echo kind of rotates. We all learn every bit of it at a certain point or
Well,
another.
that's
That's
actually good. That's a
Yeah,
good
it's really
thing.
awesome. Like we got a camera guy up here. His name's Brad.
Mhm.
Um, we kind of rolled it around. They rolled it around and let him on the camera, man. And he is one of the best camera guys I've ever seen in the biz, dude. I mean,
No
he'll
doubt.
hang upside down from trees. He'll get inside the dumpsters and film from the inside. Like, and I've seen him do that stuff. That's why I bring that up. But man, he is so passionate, and his footage is just phenomenal. Him between him and Lisa's another one that's she's one of the best camera girls I guess I've ever worked with. I'm telling you, man, they are the best. They are the powerhouse behind everything you see on our films.
That's
Just
awesome.
the way they think it out. They you can literally see them when they have that camera in their hand. They're plotting every different angle and every which way it could look and what the background needs to be and man, I mean, just they're phenomenal.
That is cool. That's
Yeah,
really cool. And I tell you what, the movie industry, at least, especially here in the 502 and Louisville area, is. I mean, apparently, business is doing a lot better in Kentucky than it is in a lot of places. I guess due to they get better tax benefits and stuff. So there's been a lot of filming that's been going on, which
yeah, I've
is
seen
really
that.
really a good thing. Which will be
Yeah,
good for you all as well.
yeah,
So
I've seen a lot of casting calls up this way, and I'm like,
mhm,
wow.
that's pretty
um,
interesting.
We do
Pretty crazy.
the Little Jesus films, and that's one of my favorites. Because my buddy Jordan, he plays Jesus for us, and I'm telling you, man, he looks the role. Like you can't get any closer looking to Jesus than this guy.
Yeah, no
And
doubt.
he does the Little Jesus films, and them little pocket Jesuses that's kind of viral. Like you find them everywhere. The little
That's the
keychain
little
looking.
rubber guys that
Yeah,
are about that tall.
yeah, we're putting
Yeah.
film to that. Like
The
so, we're
wife's
using
got
that
one
in
in
our
her
film.
car.
Yeah,
She's
we're
got it
using that in
there.
our films. Yeah, I got one right here actually. But
Yeah,
yeah, we're
that's what the wife's got. Yeah, she got the same thing in her car.
so it'll appear like it'll show this little figure, and then a camera cut, and then boom, Jesus is really standing there, check them out, man. You'll love them.
Oh,
It's
I'll definitely have
comical
to
and
check it out.
fun. Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
that's cool when they add some comedy and stuff to it too.
And it's all free. Like the website's free. You don't have to sign up for nothing. Like you just come watch. That's the cool part about it. Like and we've got it on all of the like Apple, Roku. We've got an app out for that. So yeah,
That's
check
cool.
out them little Jesuses if you get time.
Now, I didn't bring up the actual photos of the process going through because I wasn't, sometimes that's kind of private nature for people.
Right.
Um, but this is a photo of
Oh
Chris
yeah.
and Amber, but right before they baptized her in the actual creek.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That was at the
so
end of filming.
kind of tell us a little bit about why they chose the creek. What creek were you in? Kind of give us a little bit of backstory about her baptism.
So our president Evie, her brother has this land, and him and his wife are letting us film the Gone movie on that land,
Hmm.
and we Dave, our main boss, he's the guy that wrote the script for it. He writes all the scripts, and he wrote it in for a baptism scene on Gone to happen. And we were like, I kind of was like, huh, So on the way back from the Christian Film Festival down in Tennessee, my wife, me and her were in the car talking. I'd picked her up, and God kind of delivered me the words to say, and she got saved. And when I called my boss, I was like, "Hey, my wife just got saved in the car," and he's like, "Awesome," I said, I was baptized on set too back whenever I got saved. I said, "How do you feel about baptizing her on set?" And I said, "We'll be like a couple that's been both baptized on set." And he's like, "Yeah, we could do baptism. That'd be awesome." And then that literally blossomed into that. And another girl that we that's in Echo, her name's Patty. She's like a second mom to me. My best friend growing up, that was her son. And so she's me and her are really tight. And she was getting ready. She wanted to be baptized too. I was like, well, okay, we've got two people getting baptized. Awesome. And me and Patty's talking, and I got this feeling. I was like, I'm going in again. I don't know why I'm going in again. And so me and Patty's talking. I said, Patty, I said, if you go in that water, I'll go in too. She said, would you? I said, yeah, I'll go in too. And we get to the baptism that day, and I wasn't planning on going in the water. Like it'd been a weird morning for me. So
Right.
I got there and I done hesitated. I was like, yeah, I ain't going in. Like, Patty went in first. So like she done went in. I didn't have to go in to get Patty in the water now. And I noticed like Patty went in and then my wife, and they let me go in and baptize my wife. And so I'm standing up there, me and Amber standing up there, and I noticed this lady in front of us, she's kind of nervous and stuff. And I'm like, hmm. And something told me, hey, go in the water and get baptized again. I was like, man, really? Like, I just bailed on this, so I did. And, but, uh, when I done that, uh, and came back out, like, when Amber and Patty went in, a lot of other people started volunteering to come in, and it
Mhm.
just started blossoming. Everybody's like, I want baptized. I want baptized. Well, after I went in, I stood behind this lady that I noticed was, just kind of looking around and stuff. And I started saying things. I was like, it's a good day to get in the water. I said, it don't matter if you've ever been in before. I said, shine that armor. I said, I was just in it, less than a year ago. I said, and here we are doing it again. I said, it's a perfect place. Like, God made this water. He made this creek. I kept saying things like that. And she turned around and said, I want to be baptized. And so then it was then I realized, hey, me going in was for this lady, to kind of encourage her.
That's
And
cool.
yeah, which she wasn't on that film. Like, I guess she didn't want to be on the film that we made showing that. But yeah, man, it was such a blessing just to be able to see it work like that. Like, it was only two people going to be baptized. We ended up baptizing seven total.
That's
Um,
cool. Well, and you still got your video footage for those
oh
who
yeah,
wanted to participate in that. So
oh yeah,
that was kind of a overall win-win for everybody.
oh
But
yeah.
but
And
yeah, I
that's
thought
not
those
the
photos were
baptism that
pretty
was
neat.
in the film either. Like we did a a film version the day before, and then that was an actual, like, we came back to the same exact spot we did the film version at, and did the
And
real
had it done.
baptism. It was a perfect spot.
That's
Couldn't ask for a
cool.
better spot.
But I thought that was interesting when I saw those photos. I was like, "Well, that's cool." That because a lot of baptisms you're seeing now are have evolved to where, when I was little, it was obviously of course I'm Catholic, but the priest,
Yeah,
held you over a bowl and
right,
just did the water and then the oil, on your forehead. But
right,
then they finally held the church that I grew up in now has an actual walk-in pool where they do the whole entire dunking now, like
right.
you would have done there in the creek. And so they've definitely gone. A lot of places seem to be going to that, which I think is kind of cool. It's kind of a
I
cool
like
experience.
it, and
Would be a
it's
cool
comical
experience.
too because you see people getting that cold creek water and they start squeaking and squalling, and it's hilarious sometimes too. I
Well,
know
and that's
I probably
yeah,
squeaked and squalled on my way in.
the one photo of Amber, I was gonna I clicked on it, and then when I brought it up, I could tell, I was like, "The water must be cold," because the look
Oh
on her
yeah.
face almost looked like, "Oh, crap," and I was like, "Well, I ain't gonna show that one."
Yeah, it turns out the baptism hole is shaded all day long and never sees sunlight.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's a little
So
chilly.
it's a little crisp, to say the least.
Yeah, yeah, we
Well,
almost bring you to meet the Lord too when you go in that water. Shock, you know.
well, now getting back again to Mr. Maddox. Here's another photo of that young man. Now, obviously, they had looks to me
And he's
like
trying to pull that stuff off right there.
looks like they
Yeah,
extubated him from his tube, but looks like, what is that? A little G tube or
yeah,
NG
yeah,
tube? Yeah, and
yeah.
then
They had to have him on that for a while.
they had extubated him, obviously, from the ventilator, which is nice.
Right
Just had him on oxygen, so that showed good
now,
progress,
with
obviously.
this picture here, keep in mind that big hose around his face.
Uh
That's a
huh.
normal little oxygen hose that we would see on anybody's oxygen stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Normal
That's
size
how
cannula
tiny
still.
he is. Yeah,
And most everybody watching has probably been in a hospital at one point in time, and they put the nasal cannula on you like that. Well, that's
right.
like he said, that's the same kind of you would have, except obviously the tips are different for pediatric, but it's
Yeah,
a
and that's the
it's a large
smallest they
hose.
could find. Yeah, and it was still way massive on him.
Oh, heck yeah. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. Some of the stuff they can do nowadays. It's
That was the hardest part for him too, was because we had to tape that to his face all the time, so he couldn't yank it out of his nose because he had to constantly have an oxygen feed.
oh,
Um,
God love him.
yeah, yeah. So it was rough for him for, I'd say, 6 months after being out of the hospital. It was rough.
God
Um,
love him.
Trying to sleep, man. Shoot, that beeper thing going off, and
Oh, yeah, that gets so, oh my
yeah,
gosh.
we lived down in the PJs at the time too, so it was, neighbors making ruckus, and
Mhm.
people blowing fireworks out in the parking lot all the time, and just crazy madness outside. So it was always something going on down there. So we became zombies for a while.
I bet you
Yeah,
did.
there's no sleeping going on for sure.
Now, obviously, we've seen a whole lot of those photos of him being in the incubator, but then, of course, now we've also got, we got some photos like this one where they finally get to have him out. Looks like he's
And look at him
outside
smiling.
now. Look at his little grin.
And
It's just too stinking cute. But I
he's
mean,
always been alert, like he could see and stuff. Like, how babies ain't supposed to be able to see and all this and that. Like, he'd sit there and watch TV in his room. Like, it was something was different about him. Like
so
he could
he
actually
was
see you.
mesmerized by things, I guess.
Yeah, and he could follow you with his eyes and stuff. Like it wasn't just that he was looking at the light or something. Like he was putting that stuff together in his head like differently.
That's
Like
interesting.
the doctor even said that, and like, when he brought me in that room, he said that baby looked at me and followed me, like he was actually looking at me. And him sitting there with no blood in his body, like, he looking gray and green and every other color. Literally a dead baby looking me right in the eyes. Like he was in shock from it.
And that's scary. That's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
scary,
And he might be the only NICU baby I've ever seen that had to have cartoons on all the time, or he was going to be mad.
developed the cartoons at a young age. See, yeah, you can see where, the trials and tribulations of dealing with children like that too when they're in that setting is
Oh
they don't
yeah.
they don't understand all that gadgetry that's going on, and they want to pull on everything and pull, so
Oh yeah.
it makes it very difficult. You got to really watch them. But look how little his little
Yeah, and
grin.
he got rough having to tape that to him. Like he that was the roughest part.
Yeah. And that's hard on mama too, and to see. You see all that
Oh yeah.
stuff, and of course, a lot of that stuff, it hurts when it's got to come out, so you sit there and you try to prepare for that too, and there's nothing you can do to make it better. It just has to happen, but the
Right.
end result obviously is well worth it, because obviously now he's 6 and he's healthy, which you'll start seeing little bit older photos. I didn't put anything super current, just because I hadn't talked to you, Chris, and I
Oh, you're
kind of
fine
wanted.
too,
I
brother.
knew the ones that you showed me were cool, but I wanted to be tread lightly on that, for privacy reasons and whatnot.
Yeah, you're
But
fine. You're
but I do appreciate all the pictures that you sent me as well to show everybody that are watching.
I knew you was
Uh,
going on Facebook, but I wasn't sure how deep in my Facebook you'd have to go to find that.
well,
Um,
and I appreciate you. You definitely helped me out a lot. That's for sure.
right.
And then like here's a photo of him that where is I thought it was so cute, with his
Oh yeah,
hair and just got his little hand over his ear and
yeah. That's him doing the skin to skin, the kangaroo time or whatever they call that.
yeah, and that's always a good thing. But he's so
Oh yeah.
precious.
I wish he'd be that precious now, man. It's like straight up firecracker. As soon as he wakes up, opens them eyes, it's boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, we're definitely going to
We had
get
to
into
known
that
what
too, because
if we had
he.
to known it would that would go away. We would have enjoyed it a lot more than we.
I feel you there. Whoops. Uh-oh. What did I do?
Mm,
Let's see. There we go. Yeah, I accidentally hit the wrong button. I had to figure out how to fix that. In old days, it would have taken me 20 minutes. You'd have been able to have us smoking a pancake and while I'm trying to figure all that shit out. But I'm getting a little bit better at it. But here's another shot of him. It's kind of a more of a he's got that arm underneath his the little fingers underneath his nose.
yeah,
That's
he
so
always
cute.
always held that. Always had his hands up in his face like that.
So tiny, so precious. Such
Before he was got any coordination to him, like when he was first born, it was funny because his arms were his worst enemies. Like he'd be sitting there and then his hand would come around and just smack him. Like he'd smack himself. And so they had to start tightening his arms down and, trying to keep him from hurting himself.
And there was a shot that I'd missed. Yeah, it was where he's still in the incubator, but you can tell he's extubated from the intubation machine, so he was able to actually breathe on his own, and obviously with oxygen supplement. And of course,
Yeah.
You see the little light with his pulse oximeter there, but
Yeah.
it shows how precious and how small. Now, did y'all have a good experience with that hospital? Is their children's hospital in Lexington real nice? I don't think I've ever been to it. Uh-oh. Chris, we have a problem. All of a sudden now I can't hear you. Let me mute you and unmute you. Nope. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened, Chris. Chris, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bump you out and just come right back in. We'll try that. No, that didn't work. All right, let me bump you completely. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we had a little bit of technical difficulty there. I don't know what happened on his end there, but we lost audio with him. So I booted him to bring him back in. And we'll give Chris just a second and he'll be back. And we'll continue on with the show. I don't know, however, I don't really never know how to get around that. It just kind of sucks when it happens, but it is what it is. Now, that's where editing obviously would be nice. However, I still don't know how to do that. I still really don't care. I like how it's organic and whatnot. I don't even know how many people are still in here. But while we're waiting for Chris to come back, I do want to give a shout out to all of our wonderful supporters that are always there for me. Obviously, Wolf Bear from Wolf Bear Records and podcasting. She's listening, and she'll be getting ready to come back to the Kentucky area here real soon. So we welcome her back, and Chris is now on his way back in. I just want to give a shout out to Miss Valerie while Chris is coming back in. Val, thanks for always tuning in, and appreciate your kind words and comments about Maddox. He is a good looking young lad, that's for sure. And then Miss Pamela Little, our booking agent, she's in, and it's great to see you, Miss Pam. Hope everything's been going good with all the new ventures. It seems like it has been, so kudos to you. Chris, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
There
Can
we
you hear
go.
me? All
Yeah, I
right.
don't know what happened there. That was
It's a possibility. It's my phone, dude. My phone's junk. It's an older iPhone, and every update they seem to get worse.
Oh my god! I tell you what, the updates do. They cause a lot of headache for me too, because sometimes it resets shit that I don't want set up, and then I have to go to my kids and be like, "Will you fix this? Take this off here." It's like I don't like this, and blah blah blah.
I had
But
this we had this meet and greet thing with like this famous director to ask him questions and stuff. And I
mhm.
couldn't even get my phone to work good enough to be in the meeting. I was like, oh my goodness. You
Oh,
know,
that
there.
sucks.
Yeah.
Well, it's always something. Scott Braley was in here too, I think. Yeah, Scott. And Scott, I didn't see you at first, but then I just want to tip a shout out to Scott Braley. Scott Braley is a guy that I've never met in real life. He's from Maine, but he used to do like a lot of movie management stuff like that. Now he's more like a production or not production, promoter kind of
Oh,
thing.
nice.
But
Well, hi, Scott.
he's such a great dude, and always so supportive. I mean, he may not stay, but he drops in all the time. So a
Well,
big
cool
shout
deal.
out to Scott Braley. Thanks for tuning in and whatnot. We really appreciate all of you all, and of course Miss Valerie here that's in this chat. I don't think you figured out how to see the chat, so you can find it if on your end maybe, um, but this lady she's awesome, and she's a good friend, and she tunes in literally to damn near. I'd say she's only missed one episode, and I think she didn't even miss all that, but it was for like a doctor's appointment. So that she is like
Oh, wow.
super, super supportive. But she said a
Awesome.
whole lot of really nice things about your son too.
Well, thank you.
Um, about how sweet he is and whatnot, because he's a good looking young lad, and he actually does kind of look like here's a picture of Dad and Maddox, and of course you remember the picture with Mama, so you could see there is Mama traits in Maddox, but yet you can also see he seems to me like a pretty good mix of both of you all.
Oh, yeah.
I can definitely see features of both.
Oh, yeah.
But so you couldn't deny him, and nor could Mama.
No, no.
But he's
Yeah,
now this little face expression is so cute, because I'm wondering what's going on in his little head. Like what is he
he
thinking right now with what he's seeing?
right, right.
Because he's
Yeah,
just got that look.
he still to this day grabs my bandanas and stuff and puts them on, and he'll put my shoes on, and he'll say, "I'm Dad," and try to start bossing us around.
Oh, that is so cute. That is hilarious. But I love the
Yeah.
little bandana, and like I say, that little side smirk on one side. That was, I was like, boy, that could be trouble.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
what
He's
a what
plotting
a
something, I'm sure, in
yeah.
that picture.
Now this photo here was another shot. This was obviously very early on when
Oh
and you
yeah.
de- you
Yeah.
definitely you definitely chopped a lot of that beard off, didn't you, brother?
I did. I did. I've had the beard long several times. This was the longest it ever got. This past year, though, I decided to grow it out a complete full season to season from gone, like in between filming,
Hmm.
to simulate, time passing by a full year. Um,
Right.
and then we get back on the set, and it turns out time's only passing by a few weeks. So I magically have this great big beard all of a sudden on gone. So just overlook that part. Um,
Used a lot of biotin.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Just used a
yeah. In
whole
2 months, man, I grew a massive beard in 2 months apparently. Uh,
Now, did you grow it out for the part, or do you just sometimes just spontaneously just like to grow it out and cut it off and just kind of do it
I
that way?
I'm a weirdo. I like messing with people. So I'll grow my beard out and get everybody like used to me having the beard, and then I'll shave it all off completely clean, and I'll stand in line at grocery stores and stuff to see if anybody talks to me.
Let's see if they recognize you.
Yeah, it don't work now because I nearly had it all shaved off when I was on Gone the last season, so everybody knows me as that version, and they know me as a bearded version, so I can't play that game no more.
So
Used to, I'd be able to stand in the grocery store with, next to some of the talkingest people I ever met and not have to say a word, just, playing with them. And now it don't work like that no more. They know me both ways now.
That's awesome. I like the beard. I tell you what, man, I had never had a beard. Besides maybe stubble because of EMS, you had to have a fit test all the time for your SCBA masks and N95 masks and all that stuff. So you couldn't even have it. So it was definitely interesting when I was able to grow it out.
Right.
And it sure as hell didn't take long for me to see it with some color and then it go just straight up white. I'm almost white. The salt and pepper lasted for a bit, but that's quickly going away.
You'll notice in that picture with Maddox there, my beard didn't have no gray in it, and here recently my beard was mostly gray. This last time I grew it out, it just came out all gray, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I rock it.
Yeah, I embraced it for a while. I was trying to do that Just for Men beard, and it was like salt and pepper mix, so it didn't cover it completely, but it just kind of kept it salt and peppery. But after a while, I was like, screw that. I was just like, hey, if I go white, I go white. Who gives a crap? I'm not some spring chicken anymore anyway. So.
Right. Mine's doing like the salt and pepper, but then there's spots that'll be all salt, and then spots that'll be all pepper.
Yeah. Here's another shot of Maddox. Now this was when he was.
That's when he
was at home then, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had just come home, maybe a week or two before that.
He just looks so peaceful.
He is when he's asleep.
Yeah. Then he wakes up and it's like, unleash the Kraken.
Right. Like, oh, that's why he's not on the show right now. He's still asleep, guys. Like he sleeps till noon. Yeah. He will. He'll sleep till noon sometimes.
Must be nice.
And if you wake him up early, you're going to regret it all day. So
he is so stinking cute, though. Look at his.
He is.
I mean, is that Scooby Doo on it? It is. That's Scooby Doo on his. I love Scooby Doo.
Yeah, he's a Scooby Doo fan.
You're definitely blessed now, for sure. And when he gets older, you'll have to start putting him into some of the Special Olympic stuff, man. He'd probably really get into that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him socialized with people. That's the hardest part, is getting him to try to do things like that.
Yeah,
he has no interest in sports and stuff, and that's like some of my problem. He's interested in like playing his piano or playing on drums or musical stuff, and like school and everything is boring to him. But he can read better than most of the kids in his school. So like he knows math. His teacher would even let him up on the board to teach math problems to the rest of the class.
Now there's the drum photo that he just talked about. And now there's actually, for those of y'all looking at, I've got the drum photo. I was trying to steal the actual drumming video, and I couldn't do it. Now Chris sent me one that I'll play for you all, where Maddox actually created. You can't see him, but he loves Minecraft, and he created kind of like the intro that you see for movies, with like 21st Century Fox kind of thing. Well, this child created this with his Minecraft game. So it's kind of like his intro to his game is that 21st Century Fox music, and the Maddox did it all himself.
Yeah, he's literally doing the scrolling on the game with one hand and playing the music with his other hand. It recorded it through the controller on that video.
So
Uh,
I'm gonna bring that video up and let everybody. It's just neat that a child that's when how long ago was it when he created that, Chris?
that's probably a year old, I'd say, man. To be honest,
So he was
like,
probably around 5 when he did that.
yeah, yeah, he was 5, but yeah, it's at least 6 months old, if not older.
So we're gonna play this video because you got to think a 5-year-old kid playing Sony PlayStation's Minecraft,
Doing it all by ear.
doing it, and then makes this in 21st Century Fox intro all by ear, and not to mention a 5-year-old figuring out how you build and create that on this video game.
Oh, it's
And
insane. He's built like Bikini
it's
Bottom
unbelievable.
and all kinds of stuff. He built the Hollywood.
But here it is. Like I wouldn't know how to even make something like that.
The piano drowns out the controller a little bit.
But it's funny that a 5-year-old created that, and I'm sure there's some people out there to be like, "Wow, oh, okay." It's like, dude, he's
Yeah.
5. That's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
and he has like never took any kind of piano. Like it's all by ear. Um, and it's funny because that was him when he was learning how to do that intro. He was learning it by ear then. Now he can play that whole intro and every little note to it with every finger and every key on the piano, both hands.
Oh, I'm sure it's way
Uh,
better. But at
oh man,
5, that's unbelievable at 5 years old.
I
That's
noticed
just crazy.
about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago that he was starting to learn full chords on the piano where he's using every finger on the keys. And once he started doing that, he's really picked up with the intro music stuff. Like he figured out how the chords work, and now it's just, man, he's phenomenal. I'd love to send him down to Peter Keys one day and just let him and Peter collab.
Oh, he'd be in
Let
I'm
him
telling
watch
you
Peter,
right
man.
now,
Peter's the
brother,
best, dude. I love Peter.
he would be in hog heaven in Peter Key Studios because I've never seen so many different types of pianos or organs or
Yeah,
keyboards. I
yeah,
mean, I've never seen so many different types in my life in one location. It was almost like a keyboard piano museum. It's
yeah,
Peter Key's his studio is off the chains, man. It's
yeah. I love
really,
watching
really
his little videos when he posts them, man. It's just like he's one of my heroes.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's a cool dude, man, and he's so down to earth. He's so friendly, so nice, just genuine human. He's
if he
he's
ever
he's the
hears
real
this,
deal.
out of all the piano players in my world that I have ever listened to, now it's just my own opinion, but like I was an Elton John fan, like and all this and that. Like I love piano, but when I met Peter Keys on the internet, dude, he changed my life. Like he became number one in my book, one of the best piano player I've ever listened to. Like the
Oh
guy's
yeah,
phenomenal.
I agree with you. Yeah, I think he's just outstanding. And
Like
it was cool. He even played when we were there. He just played some songs and stuff like on the actual piano that he learned to play on as a kid. He still
that's
has
cool.
it. He had it refurbished, and I mean, but I'm just like, wow. I mean,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's definitely a sight to see. That's for sure. Miss Janice, welcome into the show. Miss Janice is another one that I actually met through a buddy of mine, Mike Clacy, and Miss Janice is just she's
Hi,
another
Miss
one that
James.
she tries to show up for everything. She's so sweet, so nice. I mean, I'm so blessed to have a lot of these regular individuals that they're like my regular barflies, and I love all of them. So
Right.
welcome into that. Now,
That's how I found
sadly,
you was through Donald Dyer. He's the reason I found you. He was posting some of your stuff, and then I was on a combo with Chase and Donald on the phone together, like a three-way call, and they started talking about it, and they told me, hey, you need to check him out. Like, where Maddox is the way that he is, like this is your dude. Like, and so I checked you out, and I was like, man, this is awesome. Like, we got somebody. out here advocating for it.
I
You
think
know,
so
and
too. And,
yeah,
and
like
that and that's what I hope happens with this. It's I just love now. Granted, Maddox, due to his circumstances, which we'll get into a little bit more about where he's at now, where people can understand why we may not be able to talk to him or see him, but not everybody we can.
right,
There's some on my Special Olympics team that I would love to have on the show that are just not. Either they're nonverbal or some have outbursts. I mean, there's a lot of variations with people that people, unless you're around it all the time, you may not understand. And especially
right.
with autism, because it is interesting if you compare it, especially to like say Down syndrome, because to me the Down syndrome kids are they really are like boom. They want to be in your face and they want to participate with everything. Whereas sometimes autistic kids are kind of more set back. They're kind of like,
Oh yeah,
I'm going to do it when I want to do it, or nah, I don't feel like doing that, or I don't want to talk to. So
they're like
they're very different people.
yeah, they're kind of like adult versions of cats. Uh, that's what.
That is so funny that you say that. There's a comedian. I'm going to draw a blank on his name. He's a comedian, also does SNL, and
Oh, okay.
he does Donald Trump impersonation a lot. And
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I know who
what the
you're
hell
talking
is
about.
his name? I can't believe I can't remember his name. I love him to death. But anyway, what's funny that you say cats, because he has an actual comedic skit where he says, because he's got Down syndrome people in his. So he
Oh,
does a
okay.
skit about how it even almost got him, like you could tell that he probably has Down syndrome family,
Right.
and he makes a comedic skit about how what did he say? Down syndrome children are like dogs. They're always super happy to see you, and they're right in your face, and they're ready to just, oh my gosh, I can't. Let's go. Let's go. We got to go do this. We got to do this. And he says, whereas autistic kids are a lot of times more like cats, and they're kind of like standoffish, maybe not wanting to necessarily do what you want when you want them to do it right away. Thing. So for you saying that, it's
Yeah.
kind of comical because it is kind of true, and we're not saying that to be shitty people, so don't take it
No,
that way.
no, no.
We're not making fun of them that way. But if you are around, and it is true because I see it with Special Olympics too. It's my Down syndrome kids are the ones that literally are like the I mean the whole time and following you around, whereas my autistic kids a lot of times are a little bit more reserved. Not, they just
Yeah, when
kind
I
of
get home, like
stand
Maddox is
back.
like Daddy's home, and then he's like, "Do this for me," like not how you been or hey, I'm glad to see you. It's like, hey, now
Hey, he's
that you're
like, dude,
home,
do
I need some
this.
help here, dude. Like.
I wish
So
to God he was talking about how Maddox loves the piano too. Obviously, we showed how at 5 he tried to create the 21st Century Fox intro for Minecraft. I mean, at a 5-year-old thinking of that, to me, that's just off the chains. That's crazy that a 5-year-old is like, "Hey, I want to do intro music." I mean, who
he
who would think a 5-year-old could think of that? But
oh yeah,
now it's like the video he's talking about the piano. I tried to steal it too, to where I could upload it here to show everybody that Maddox playing his keyboard and him trying it early on and listening, doing everything just completely by ear. So if he missed a note, you could tell he would switch. He would be like, "All right, no, it's up this way or it's down this way." It was really a neat video, and you all could check it out if you ever come across them on Facebook or something. But I tried to steal it, and I think it's one of them things you got to download, and then you have to code it to where you can play it. And I
it might
haven't
yeah.
learned how to do that yet, but I
It took me a
think
bit to learn how to get that off of the PlayStation to send it to you this morning. Like I only discovered it a couple days ago, and he's been streaming every game he's played since he's had his PlayStation. I didn't realize it. Um,
oh,
and
really?
Yeah, so he
Oh
he's
my
got
gosh.
something he calls the Maddox Show, and he kind of plays around on there and gives people tours of his Minecraft buildings and like Bikini Bottom. He built a Bikini
No
Bottom.
doubt.
He built Mickey Mouse Playhouse or whatever. Built all that, and he's giving tours of that. Um, yeah, And then when he gets a phone, he'll go, "This is the Maddox show," and he'll take people and giving them tours and stuff. He's got a fascination with tractors. He knows every John Deere model tractor there is. Almost knows every case model tractor there is. My dad just bought is like a Ford tractor, but it was one of the rare models that's red. And as soon as we pulled in the driveway, he goes, "Huh, Papa got a new Ford tractor." You couldn't even read the labels on the side of the tractor or nothing. He knew what kind of tractor that was.
That's just awesome how they can
Yeah, he knows
retain that.
wherever John Deere is in Menifee County that he's been on that road. He knows the location of every John Deere and what model John Deere they have. And he'll give you a tour on Google Maps and show you everybody's John Deere in Menifee County.
That is that is hilarious. And here's a picture of Maddox messing with a guitar.
Oh
So
yeah,
the kid's fascinated, like I say, with drums and guitars. I mean, anything music related, that kid seems to gravitate to, as well as, of course, not shocked, video gaming. I mean, what kid
oh yeah,
isn't just hardcore into video gaming? But the fact that he is streaming in his own, he's 6 and
yeah,
he's
and
got
he's
the Maddox show. I mean, it's like, if that, I don't know. To me, if that doesn't impress you, I don't know what the hell would.
right,
Because that's
right.
just unbelievable that a 6-year-old is like, hey, I can stream my video gaming. I couldn't even stream video gaming myself playing that shit. I don't even know how the hell
Yeah,
you do it.
I had no idea he was doing it till like literally the day before yesterday. I finally found it on the PlayStation. He showed me what he'd been doing. He gave us a tour of all of these live streams he'd done, and
That
I've
is
been
so
wondering for six
funny.
months where all my space is going on my PlayStation. Like I got a terabyte PlayStation, can only hold like a few games, and it's because of it, there's hundreds and hundreds of videos of him giving tours on different video games.
That is so funny. Wolf's like, I can teach you. Of course you can. You've taught me everything else. Without Wolf, I tell you what, Wolf has been pivotal with teaching my dumbass technology because I'm getting a lot better at it. I do have to say, but
The
it
sucky
is.
part's technology changes every day. Like
Oh
that's always advancing. So by the time you learn one thing, you've got to learn it again.
yeah, you ain't wrong there, brother. You ain't wrong there. Now let's see this photo here. Just another shot of Maddox, all wrapped up, kind of papoosed up in a cool little blanket.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
That's in yeah, we had to put that pillow around him, keep him from rolling around and stuff. That was in a little bouncer.
he's
But yeah, it
so stinking
swallows him.
cute. So stinking cute.
Bones, I'm sorry if I lose you, man. My phone battery sucks.
Oh, where are you at, brother?
I'm at like 5% right now.
Oh, yeah, you may be on your way out. Well, it's been almost an hour and a half, and I'm shooting for an hour and a half show, so that's good.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe we'll get a few more minutes, and then if I lose you, then I'll just wrap up. I'll do some yik yakking or something for a minute before and whatnot. But
Alright.
unless you can get in and charge it somewhere, you're welcome to do that too. But you're probably afraid to go in the house
Yeah,
and
I don't want
and wait and
to.
wake up the youngin.
I'll bring Maddox back out on another show. Maybe we could do one a little later or something, and I'll get some more material together of stuff he's done because I'd like to show you the Maddox show.
Oh, I'd
Uh,
like to see it, and I'd like to. I thought this was a cute photo too of Maddox. He's actually painting some of his old cars.
yeah,
But he's
yeah, he's
painting them
fascinated with
himself.
that. And another thing is he knows all of his colors and all of his color wheel. He knows what colors mix together to make what colors. He knows all his primary, secondary. He knows everything there is to know about mixing color.
That's so. Oops, that's so cute, man. That's
That's one
so.
of his fascinations that ends up costing me a lot though, because he'll mix up stuff that I didn't want him into, like or get into the food in the fridge and start mixing the ketchup and the mayonnaise and the mustard and
Oh,
like
oh man, that's
so
hilarious. Now,
you can't take your eyes off of him.
no, I bet none. Now, hopefully you can tell me, since I'm not trying to rush you, but since your thing's low, kind of tell everybody what's going on. Obviously, you were in this TV show called Incurable,
Yeah, it
and
was actually it's a movie. You can find it on the echotvstudios.com. That is the movie that I was ever first in. It was filmed in my restaurant. I owned a restaurant with my cousin Silas and my cousin Jordan, and we they found us, wanted to film at the restaurant, and like I said, they asked me if I wanted to be in it, and I was like, yeah, sure. And this movie, dude, it took off like. When they released it to the internet, it was averaging 1,000 plays per second, and it shot up
holy
to like
crap!
100 million in like overnight or something crazy. I mean, it was insane numbers. How many views it got? Um, I encourage everybody to check that movie out, though. It'll actually make you cry. Like that was the hardest thing was when we were there. Lacey, the actress that the movie kind of revolves around there, the main actress. She does this crying scene, dude, and I'm telling you, man, the whole room started crying. Like it was the hardest thing to film because she has so much passion behind it.
So is that the lady to your right in the photo? The
No, she's
blonde
the
haired
one
lady?
wearing the orange
So
there.
she's the one
Uh,
wearing the orange. I was gonna ask
yeah,
about her.
yeah, yeah. The lady to my right, that's our president. It's E.B. Atkins, man. She's behind all of this, dude. Like
Oh, that's awesome.
she's the president, man. She's the best you could ever imagine to have in this industry.
That's cool. And what about
She's a
the young man that's to your left
That's
in the
Jordan.
center?
That's the guy that plays Jesus for us.
Oh,
Uh,
nice. And
yeah,
so, yeah,
yeah,
and I saw he had an Echo shirt, so I figured he actually worked for you all.
yeah, yeah. He's our Jesus. And then in life, everybody kind of laughs that I'm kind of Peter, like to him. Like I'm his best friend, disciple, but I'm outgoing. I kind of get myself in trouble every now and then with my mouth, you know.
Yeah, I've been there and done that.
But he's my best friend, dude. He led me to Christ. He led me to Echo. Like he encourages me, he calls me like all the time, making sure I'm good, make sure everything's good. And when we go out places, I try to do the same. I try to return the favor to him. I'm his backup when we go out of town and stuff on these trips. Like you know, we're
And
just
then who's the guy on the very, very end, on the other side of the young lady in the orange?
that's James Botts. He is our lighting director, and he does our special effects stuff. Like if there's something needs blowed up or somebody needs to die or whatever, James is the guy behind that.
Oh, that's cool.
He does
Yeah, I
the
saw that.
special
I thought that was
effects,
neat.
and with this new Gone, the season 4 that we just filmed, dude, the man, it's going to be the best that we've ever released. It's got so much better special effects, better everything. Um,
That's cool.
they actually shut down like part of the town, the back street behind the courthouse here, and we filmed the earthquake scene there, and it was a big event. Man, we pulled down like a power pole and had sparks flying out of it, and it was just the special effects was through the roof this time, man, and it was awesome. I can't wait to
Now,
see the final
does Echo
product.
TV ever will they ever did they ever go to, like, the Sundance festivals or whatever they're called to where they, like, to see if people pick it up for, like, say, Netflix,
Yeah,
HBO, all that
we
stuff?
got festivals we go to that's in the Christian world that's just like that. Like we have the Red Letter Awards,
Mhm.
Christian Film Festival. That's a huge one too. But yeah, we go to everything like that we can.
That's cool. That
And
and,
Evie, she does a lot more than we do. Like Evie's all the time running doing something. Like it's insane how much she has on her plate.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's been a really good show. I'm really glad that I got to have you on and stuff, and hearing about Maddox is just I'm like I say, the stories you were telling me
Well, I
about
appreciate you
him.
having me on.
I mean, it's so good. Now these pictures. Now I want to ask you this, hopefully before you get dropped with your phone's battery, but like
Yeah, I'm at
here, this
one, so
photo here. Are you on one? So it ain't far.
yeah.
Does he wear these to hear music, or is he sometimes sound
He was
sensitive?
He was rocking out music on Spotify that day. He was
No
discovering
doubt.
headphones that day. Yeah. Yeah, that's when he
That
was a
is
lot
so
younger, and he discovered, hey, music plays through these. I like it.
that's
Now, he's got
cool.
perfect pitch, so you can't sing around him. He can't stand people singing around him. At his birthdays and stuff, we don't sing happy birthday because he will throw a fit. That's the
Oh,
worst thing
no
you can
doubt.
give him is happy birthday song for his birthday. Uh, and he'll cuss everybody in the room as soon as they start.
And it's funny how they are,
Oh
how they
yeah,
evolve and some of them do. Some of them have, outbursts and some, whatnot. So that's also a very challenging thing for people that
yeah.
may
We're
not
always on our
understand.
edge. Like we gotta, one of us. Like if I'm at a film thing or something, Amber's always ready to take him and bail out the door real quick because it's a matter of time. It ain't a if. It's a matter of when.
Yeah.
Uh,
And, you always get those looks and it's like, well, sorry, it's, it is what it is what it is.
right.
We'll try to get him out, but,
And
and
he's
some
beat my
people just
record.
don't
He's
understand.
already been suspended 3 times from kindergarten, and I've never been suspended 3 times in all of my school career. I
Now, is he
went
in
in there one
special
day. He
needs
was chasing.
programs?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Yeah.
He just likes the WWE, the teachers. So like he'll chase them around and throw chairs at them and stuff. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, if he don't get his way or get to do whatever he's wanting to do, man, they have to pay for it. And we're all trying to figure it out, like with pathways and different programs, try to figure out how to comfort him, I guess, the right way, or to get him to not do that. That's been our biggest goal is trying to get the impulse control,
And some of them do
working
have
better.
those bad impulses. They did, and they can't help it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll be sweet as pie 1 second, but then wham. And I think I may have just lost Chris now. His phone was fixing to die. He just locked up, so it's possible his phone probably just crapped out. Um, so that being said, if Chris does drop completely, we're almost at the hour and a half mark, so it's been a good show. Um, I'm going to go ahead and remove him because I'm pretty sure he's going to be done because of his phone running out of battery. So, Chris, if you end up seeing this later or whatever, thank you so much for taking your time to be on the show and kind of talk to us a little bit about Maddox. And again, Miss Amber, the mama of Maddox, happy birthday to you. Hope you have a great birthday day today and spend time with your family. Real quick before I wrap up, for those who may still be in here, I just want to give a shout out for those who may not know, especially if you're in here from the Louisville area. Um, Lee Specialty Clinic. I just found out about it. I had a friend reach out. They said, "Hey, are you going to be in Frankfurt on July 17th at 1?" And I went, I don't think I can. I've got appointments, I think, set up for that day. I said, but what's going on in Frankfurt? And they're like, well, we go down there because they're having stuff about Medicaid cuts and whatnot. And there's this clinic in Louisville. I think, if memory serves, I think it's off somewhere in PRP area. But this clinic is, we could eventually put Brandon, try to get him on there, but they are for the adult side for your special needs individuals. And it's kind of a one-stop shop. Like they do all sorts of stuff. They work with the kids, but they also work with the kids' various specialists and stuff. So like it's a very wonderful organization that does a whole lot for our special needs community here in Louisville. The problem is this year was funding for them was so bad that they were essentially on the chopping block to be either eliminated or downsized. Um, Andy Bashir came through apparently for at least this next fiscal year. So for those of you all that don't know how that works, at least in Louisville, I can't speak elsewhere. Fiscal year runs July to July. You would think it'd run calendar year to calendar year, and it doesn't. And I'm not exactly sure why, even though I was in damn governmental, worked for the government forever. I just know that's the way it always was. So he bailed them out. They were actually funded up until July of next year. However, they're not out of the woods yet. So for those of you all that may be listening, especially in that area, if you're from Louisville or Kentucky area and whatnot, definitely reach out about the Medicaid cuts and stuff. I understand that, you got to trim fat from things because we're definitely out of control with spendings on things. But a lot of things I think that they want to trim the fat on are things that they need to leave alone, and maybe look at some of the other silly shit that we spend money on with our government. And we all know that some of the spending they do could be avoided or could be better allocated. But for cutting someone like Lee Specialty Clinic is that'd be pretty catastrophic for the special needs community. So we definitely don't want to see that ever happen. Like I was saying on my TikTok podcast the other day, Val, you have a great day too, honey. While was saying on my podcast, or not podcast, TikTok the other day, and this is just my opinion, but everybody supports various charities, and that's very noble. If you can afford to, if you got money and you can afford to do that, that's a very noble thing to do, of helping out your community and your societies. But the problem is like most people always seem to want to navigate towards like cancer research. Well, cancer research, to my understanding, is like $1 billion industry. I mean, they raise so much money through charity for cancer, and everybody hates cancer. I'm not downplaying that, but the amount of money they generate, it almost I almost wish that somebody that would want to donate, instead of them saying, well, I'm going to donate just like everybody else does to cancer research. Well, how about we donate? How about somebody donate to help with fundings, or things like the Lee Specialty Clinic. Their budgets are far less, but than what some are. I mean, granted, it still may be in the millions to operate, but donating to help a cause like that is also, to me, it's just as pivotal and just as important as if you were to donate for cancer research. Because there's a lot of special needs community people that don't have a lot of family that can help, or there's a lot of them out there that cannot do a lot for themselves. They rely on other people, and it sucks the hands that they were dealt, the cards they were dealt. It kind of sucks for some of them. So organizations like Lee Specialty Clinic are very important and very pivotal. So for those of you all, I just wanted to throw that, excuse me, out there and into there, that if you don't know about that, or anything about it, I don't even know a whole lot about it yet either. I just found out about this, but I posted something on their Facebook. There's a lot of great people, a whole lot of great people that work for them or that are clients, and a lot of the clients have reached out. Some of them want to talk and have them on the show talk about how the Medicaid cuts and things have currently affected their loved one. So definitely give a look if you're into things like that. Give a look for that, and help those clinics out. If you're not able to go and do supportive things like go down to Frankfurt and kind of help be there and be of support when they're having these different meetings, then that's all fair and good. But you can reach out. Pardon me. You can reach out and talk to your different people in your the political powers that be, and send them messages and say, hey, let's not cut from the handicap. Let's try to find something else that we can trim a little fat off of instead, instead of taking away from handicapped people that need it the most. So I'm definitely intrigued about Lee's clinic. Maybe eventually I'll have a podcast. I did put it out there, but the thing is you're limited on when you're trying to do a podcast on something like that. It's can be very touching because it's a business, and they can look at it as various different ways. So a lot of times the people that maybe would want to talk aren't allowed to talk. But maybe there'd be some family that go through it, or some coworkers that used to work there that no longer do, that may want to weigh in on some things. Everybody's a little bit tricky on how you tread on that. And of course, anything that you hear on my podcast are always, Miss Janice, you have a great day too, honey. Um, my podcast is everything I talk about obviously is of my opinion. Um, I am not saying I'm some expert on a lot of this stuff, because I am not, but I have opinions just the same as everybody else. And I always strongly suggest that everyone else do your due diligence, do your research on topics, and you formulate your own opinion on various things. So, but this Lee clinic was definitely intriguing to me. Um, I'm hoping to, I'm going to be sponsoring, helping be a sponsor for Kozer Shriners Golf Tournament here in Louisville. I'm going to have my business, be a sponsor of that. I don't know if I'll do any kind of podcasting through that, or whatever you call the vlogging, whatever. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, because obviously certain things have to be set up, and they have to be coordinated, and they have to be voted on and agreed upon by the Kozer Shriners. So we'll see what happens with that, but I am going to be a part of their sponsorship, and for their golf scramble that I believe is sometime in July. I cannot remember the date. But anyhow, thank you all for tuning in as always. Again, likes and follows. I haven't even been sending that many invites back out since I was in Facebook jail, but I was put back in Facebook jail again for sending out, trying to send out invites. But as I'm coming across finding people that I think would, especially with the Lee's thing, I was like, man, it would, these people may want to weigh in or whatever. So I sent them an invite. Well, apparently they think I'm spamming people again, so I am back in Facebook jail. So what I am asking of everybody else is, if you're interested in what I'm doing, you're liking what you're hearing, please please follow both. Definitely Bones Enterprises LLC is my business for the podcast. That is the name. It's Bones Enterprises LLC with a period after the end. And that on Facebook, find that. Give it a like, give it a follow, if you would be so kind. Every little bit helps to reach new people, especially for this podcast. If you know people that of special needs, or that have special needs, family members, and you feel they may be interested, or they may even want to eventually be a part of the show and showcase the achievements of their loved one, whether it be a child or not, or it could just be the adult themselves wants to be on the show and talk about what they've gone through with life. We've got a lot of others coming up. This Monday, if all goes well, I should have a good friend of mine, Bryce Clayton, who he's not on my team, but I tell you what, he's that young man is hell on wheels with Special Olympics. He's an outstanding athlete, and just an overall outstanding human being. But I get to have Bryce on to kind of talk about himself. I'm fortunate enough to know his brother, who his brother was on one of the fire departments in my hometown where I work. So they're a great family, but I'm glad to have Bryce on come Monday. We were going to do Friday, but I didn't realize that the wife was going to be off, and we had some other stuff that I needed to get done. So we're going to push that until Monday. And then it is possible the latter part of next week, I may go back and also do another podcast with a young man on the music side of things. But I will, once I'll kind of put that out there and kind of talk about that once I get it all nailed down. So definitely looking forward to doing those shows again. Big thanks to all of my my friends that are in here. Val, you're always amazing. Janice, same. I mean, I can always rely on you all to just be there. And even though you don't have to be, I'm moved. Wolf, obviously, you're very pivotal and important to me, because you've helped me grow into what I am today. And Miss Pam, again, thank you for pushing me in this direction. The podcasting thing's a lot of fun, and especially this one, because I love them all, and I've met great people from all, but it is very near and dear to your heart when the special needs podcast is something that really just moves me, and I hope that it can reach to people and bring awareness, because some people just don't understand a lot of these disabilities either. If you don't live it and you're not around it, you may not get it. So it's very interesting hearing the different stories and how some of these kids are, and men and women. So, I am very honored to have anybody who shows up for these shows. So I look forward to, again, doing more of these. Also, maybe potentially, like I say, who knows what'll happen with the Leak Specialty Clinic. I would never want to have anybody on there that would do any harm to them. Obviously, I want, as long as the Lee Clinic is okay, and you never know, it may end up being one of the upper echelon that are allowed to talk. That way, they know what they can say and what they cannot say. But I would love to get their word out, because the Lee Specialty Clinic here in Louisville is a very important thing to the community, and I was really glad to see that they at least were saved for this fiscal year, but I don't want to see him on the chopping block for next year. And I've also got several friends that I used to work with in the county days that actually work there they actually work there. Now they can't be on the show because they actually work for the organization. So they're not allowed to comment. It's kind of the same way it was with EMS. When I was with EMS, they really didn't want the only people they wanted on camera, if there was ever any interviewing or anything like that from news medias or whatnot, was always they wanted your brass to be the ones to do that. If you didn't have brass on, they really, and even me, even myself as a sergeant, they really kind of were like, didn't really want me even talking to the media. So, and to be honest with you, I never really wanted to, per se, unless I had to, because that's what the upper brass is. That's their job to do, is disseminate the information they want out. So I'm sure this is the same way. So we'll see what happens with that. And again, anybody that's available that likes to support causes with the Medicaid cuts and everything else, July 17th, apparently at 1 p.m. in the afternoon in Frankfurt, I guess they're going to have some more hearings on the various budgetary stuff. So there's going to be people out there with their shirts and with their signs, talking about please allocate monies for these kind of programs because of how valuable they are. So if you feel like doing that, and if I happen to be available, which I do not think it's going to happen, but if something were to change where I can, and hell, I may go out there and I may just take my gimbal and do a half-ass live while we're out there and just see what happens. But if not, I wish everybody else that's out there the best, and hopefully we get the message out and heard. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Today, this is Bones, saying thank you so much again. Remember, again, please please follow. That helps everything. If you're into music, check out my boy James Luker, and James Luker Music on Facebook. Definitely like and follow him too, so we can get his new songs. He's been putting a lot of stuff on TikTok, so definitely look for some new snippets of things coming from his new album that they're still currently working on. But again, check out James, because incredibly talented young man. If you like country music and rock, give him a listen, because he may fill your void. So until then, this is Bones saying thanks again for everybody for tuning in. Much love and respect to everybody, and be good or be good at it. And we'll catch you on that next episode. Talk to y'all later.